From Mel Gibson to Reese Witherspoon, there has certainly been some surprising and insane celebrity mugshots.
And it's always good for us to remember that nobody is above the law. That's why today we'll be breaking down those mugshots and the charges that followed.
In at number 10, Chris Brown. Chris Brown was lucky he built his following before engaging in this nefarious behavior. If he wasn't so talented, his fans wouldn't be turning a blind eye every time he did something messed up. For example, in 2009 when he flipped out following an argument with his then girlfriend Rihanna and chose to physically assault her. By all accounts, there should have definitely been a felony domestic violence conviction with real jail time behind it. Instead, he was only required to check in with his probation officer and serve 1,000 hours of community service. However, Chris Brown did eventually get arrested again, this time in West Palm Beach, Florida on July 5th, 2018, stemming from an outstanding warrant from the year before. He was released an hour later after he posted a $2,000 bail, and his warrant was dated in April of 2017 when the star allegedly punched a photographer during a club appearance. As a result of not wanting to get his photo taken, he ended up with this insane celebrity mugshot.
But before we get into number 9, I need you guys to hit that like button if you can, we'd really appreciate it. And now at number 9, Sam Hunt. Country singer Sam Hunt was arrested and booked in November of 2019 for drunk driving, as well as driving down the wrong side of the road. And he was in fact very drunk, with his blood alcohol content being 0.173 at the time, which is absolutely wasted considering the legal limit is 0.08. And just by looking at this picture, it is very clear that he is not at all sober. The dead giveaway to me are his eyes. Like, those are classic drunk eyes if you ask me. Also, the slight smirk is like a little unsettling. I'm not sure why he would be looking kind of like nonchalant about the whole thing. Overall, this one just kind of like a little unsettling and very disappointing if you're a Sam Hunt fan.
Speaking of disappointments, in at number 8, Mel Gibson. Nobody is deserving of more jail time than this guy right here. In 2006, he was arrested for drunk driving and speeding with an open container of alcohol. The officer also cited in his report that Gibson was spewing racial slurs at the officer while he was being questioned. This would also be the actor's second DUI, for which he was only sentenced to 3 years probation, 1 year of alcohol abuse treatment, a fine, and a 90-day probation from driving. Additionally, in 2009, when his probation was up, the judge ruled that this conviction should be removed from his record. Not even 2 years later, Gibson was back in court where he would plead no contest to 1 misdemeanor count of domestic battery committed against his girlfriend at the time. Amongst these facts, sprinkled in with every other crazy thing he's done, this actor should definitely still be in jail.
In at number 7, Bow Wow. This one's a little graphic, so much so that there's honestly a small chance that I might not be able to actually show it to you guys, so apologies if that is the case. But in this one, Bow Wow was arrested and booked back in 2019 for battery with substantial physical harm. And that ruling is very clear in the picture because Bow Wow has multiple huge cuts on his face, which we're assuming was from the woman. And you can tell they are fresh because they are red and swollen. Atlanta police confirmed to us that he allegedly assaulted, who was also charged with battery, both sustained visible minor injuries. And clearly she was also charged because of the injuries to his face. All in all, a really messy situation, but this one was really shocking to me because this is the only mugshot that I've ever seen where the person is visibly injured in it. Like, has that ever happened before? I don't think so.
In at number 6, Paris Hilton. The heir of the Hilton hotels quite literally invented the idea of being an influencer. She would routinely tell the paparazzi where she would be going out that night so that her photos would be plastered on every tabloid the following day. In 2007, she was sentenced to 45 days in prison after she violated her probation for reckless driving, for which she didn't even have to serve half of before going home. A few years later in 2010, Paris was involved in a hit and run that she, for whatever reason, avoided jail time for also. Then not even a couple months later, she was found guilty for drug possession and obstructing an officer. So with multiple run-ins with the law, Paris has never really had to face the true sentence of her crimes, but we did get some great mugshots out of it. So there's that.
Halfway at number 5, Bill Cosby. The disgraced comedian shocked the world when he was charged with putting things in women's drinks and then taking advantage of them. After a long trial, he was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison, and his mugshot is another very unsettling one, but it also shows a man who very clearly knows that he's about to spend a long time in jail, and for what he did, he deserves that jail time and then some. In the picture, he's looking away from the camera, which is something that I didn't even think was allowed, but I did see that in a few other mugshots, and his expression in the picture is really like hard to place. In some ways it looks like remorse, in other ways it looks like defeat. It's hard to tell what exactly was going through his mind when this picture was taken, but one thing's for sure, and that's the fact that he's going away for a long time. The legal system finally did one thing right.
And at number 4, Justin Bieber. Bieber has certainly matured since his early spats with the law, although that being said, we still think that he should be serving time in jail. On January 23, 2014, Justin Bieber was arrested by Miami Beach police for a DUI, resisting arrest, and drag racing. Thanks to a lenient plea agreement, he only had to take anger management classes and make a donation to charity. Later on in June of the same year, he broke the law again though. This time while in Canada, he was found guilty of assault and careless driving, but was only given a fine of $600, and the assault charges were dismissed. I'm sorry, but if you find him guilty of assaulting someone, then you must have had some decent evidence that a punch was thrown. However, because it was Justin Bieber in his home country, they just let it all go. But again, still a great insane mugshot.
In at number 3, Orlando Brown. This one is sad for me because That's So Raven will always hold a special place in my heart, and it's sad to see that some of the stars have gone down a dark path. Orlando Brown, who played Eddie in the show, was arrested in Las Vegas in 2018 for burglary. According to TMZ, he was caught on camera changing the locks inside Legends restaurant and venue, which is actually a restaurant owned by Brown's friend. Yikes, so he's like a bad friend too. And even though Brown claimed that he was there to change the locks, the owner of the restaurant ratted him out as a liar. And in his mugshot, Orlando Brown is smiling. And that's not just like a subtle Justin Bieber smile, like it's a smile you have when you were just laughing, like it's ear to ear. And I have no idea what would make someone smile when they're getting arrested and potentially facing jail time, but clearly he found something pretty funny.
In at number 2, Reese Witherspoon.
Question I want to ask.
Go ahead. Come on.
You better not arrest me.
Yes,
Are you
ma'am.
kidding me?
No, I told you.
I'm an American citizen.
I told you to get in that car and stay in there, didn't I?
Although it may be difficult to tell from that dash cam footage acquired by TMZ, but that is without a doubt Reese Witherspoon being arrested. As far as celebrity mugshots go, this one is certainly bizarre to see. Back in 2013, Reese and her husband Jim Toth happened to be driving in the wrong lane while in Atlanta. The worst part about that arrest video is later on when Reese starts pulling the celebrity classic line of, "Do you know who I am?" While the officer was speaking with her husband, Reese decided to get out of the car to confront the cop, and when he said, "Ma'am, get back into the car," she just kept at him. Her husband was charged with driving under the influence, while Reese, who stated that she was a US citizen and that she was allowed to stand on American ground, was arrested for disorderly conduct, and rightfully so. The couple were released from jail on bond at 3:30 a.m. the following day with a court appearance pending. I can't believe she said, "Do you know who I am?"
In at number 1, Heather Locklear. Heather Locklear has not one, but 2 incredibly horrifying mugshots where she really just doesn't look at all like the woman that we have come to know and love over the years. In one instance, deputies were called to her home after receiving a call from her family because Locklear was allegedly extremely intoxicated and arguing with the people in her household. The officers wouldn't leave without her being medically cleared. However, when a paramedic tried to do this, she kicked the officer that was trying to hold her down. She also kicked a paramedic in the chest when she was on a gurney. Because she battered the police, she was booked. In the mugshot, she looks incredibly disheveled, and it's hard to place my thoughts exactly when looking at the picture, but I think the overwhelming emotion is that this is a woman that needs help, and hopefully she's getting that help she needs.
With that though, let's check out some of your comments from the video titled Top 10 Celebrities Who Immediately Regretted Their Tattoos.
So Corey with a Y no E says, "I'm surprised Steve-O's back tattoo isn't in this list."
That one with him like...
Should be number 1. I mean, he hasn't publicly said he regretted it though, so.
That's true. He's like, "It's pretty rad, man."
It's weirdly cool. Like, I'm kinda here for it.
Alright. Gail Mimi of 6 says, "If people had to wait until they're 30 to get one, there would be a lot less tattoos."
That's on period. Seriously.
This is facts.
That's a fact. Beezer says, "Face tattoos have to be the dumbest trend." They were awful. I'm so happy they seem to be done now. Like, I haven't seen many coming through.
It's
so I think
sloping off, yeah.
it was like a 3-year window. Now SoundCloud rappers are kind of done, so we're good now.
We're good now. It's safe to come back outside. Casper41291 says, "I don't regret my tattoos, but I do regret the fact that I got 2 of my tattoos done by people that should not have the right to make tattoos." Ooh. Yes, very important to make sure that your tattoo artist is an artist.
Yep.
And not just a guy that likes tattoos.
You want to go to professionals, people.
Yeah.
Pay the amount needed. I don't know how much it is. It's expensive though. Then Deborah Palmer says, "I have about 9 tattoos. I don't regret any of them, but I'm getting older. Wrinkles and tattoos do not mix. I'm over 60.
I guess it depends on the tattoo, but yeah, I could definitely see some tattoos
that
getting
makes sense for sure.
really crappy after they age for a while. Not saying that yours are. I'm saying some people.
Yeah.
But that has been today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I've been your host, Johnny Rogers.
And I'm Mackenzie Smith.
And until next time, stay classy.
Before we get into number 9, Jesus.
In at number 8, Mel Gibson. I should have been like, speaking of disappointments. Speaking of disappointments, in at number 8, Mel Gibson.
Atlanta police confirmed to us that Bow Wow and the woman had allegedly... Atlanta police confirmed to us that Bow Wow and the woman allegedly... Oh my god.